there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in.
Great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Hardika Narayankar, and I'm the International and Social Media Officer here at Lakehead University and the Thunder Bay campus. I'm so excited to have you all joining us today for our International Student Supports and Advisors webinar. So over the next little while, you're going to hear from our entire student services team, a fantastic group of advisors and coordinators who are genuinely here to support you every step of the way throughout your time at Lakehead. So whether you're joining from across the country or from just other side of the world, you are welcome. So you're already part of the Lakehead family. So with that, let's just begin. And here's a quick look at what we'll be covering today. We'll be starting with introductions, which is meeting each member of your International Student Services team. And then we'll cover key information about new student arrival and orientation, and also walk you through the advising and supports available to you. We'll talk about international student programming, and then of course we'll wrap up our session with a live Q&A period. So there's a lot of great information coming your way. So let's just get started. Now I will hand it over to Joe to introduce our incredible team.
Thanks, Hardika, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lakehead University. We are so excited that you have chosen to join our community, and we want to thank you for choosing Lakehead as your next step in your educational journey. As Hardika mentioned, my name is Jo, and I'm the Director of International Student Services. And throughout this webinar, you will get to meet our entire team at International Student Services. Some of us are at the Thunder Bay campus, some of us are at the Aurelia campus, and some of us are in Barrie at our brand new Barrie STEM Hub. I would like to share 3 things with you. The first one is this. From this point moving forward, our office will be one of your main points of contact as you prepare for your arrival in Canada. So we're here to support you before you arrive, during your transition to Canada, and throughout your studies at Lakehead. Our team is here to help you navigate everything from immigration and airport arrival to cultural adjustment, student life, and academic success. No question is too small. We're here for you every step of the way. The second thing to remember, we have some wonderful opportunities waiting for you once you begin your studies. But for the next 3 months, from June to August, we'll engage with you through our International Welcome Experience. It's designed to help you feel prepared, confident, and connected before you arrive in Canada. So pay attention to that information when it comes your way. And the third thing is that I am so excited and I cannot wait to meet all of you at our Welcome Day event on September 2nd. So make sure you're here for it. Now, let's get on to the rest of our team and hear what they have to say, beginning with Sarah.
Thanks, Joe. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so glad you could join us today. My name is Sarah Melvin, and I am one of your international student advisors. I'm also a RISIA, so that means I'm a regulated international student immigration advisor. I know that's a mouthful, that's why we short for it to RISIA, but it means I can advise you on all things student immigration. And so I was born and raised here in our beautiful city of Thunder Bay, and I always look forward to welcoming all of our new students to our beautiful city and our amazing campus. And if you love spending time outdoors with nature as much as I do, you'll be excited to learn that our campus is nestled right in amongst the boreal forests, and you can take your study breaks by our very own Lake Tamblyn. So I look forward to sharing all of these natural gems with you when you get here. So I think we need to advance a couple slides here, Hardika, unless everyone else is, maybe I'm seeing something different. That's great. So if we could go to one more here. Perfect. Thank you. So as you've noticed, we have 4 licensed advisors dedicated to supporting you throughout your journey at Lakehead. We also have 2 amazing coordinators on our team, plus Joe, of course. So at ISS, we are your one-stop shop. So no matter what your concern is, you can start with us. So whether it's questions about your academics, your personal needs, maybe financial guidance or budgeting, housing concerns, advocacy, or maybe even community connections, we have a very holistic approach to our advising. And so we want you to feel confident and comfortable to come and speak with us no matter what that is. And Joe reiterated that too. So please feel free to reach out to us anytime you have questions while you're preparing, but also while you're here at Lakehead. And then, of course, our biggest advising area is immigration. And immigration is a very complex area these days, but we are here to help you navigate that. And I won't say too much more on that point because I know Jen is going to dive a little bit deeper into the immigration in the upcoming slides. But ISS hosts a variety of events, including lots of cultural events, excursions off campus, lots of different types of workshops throughout the entire year. And we customize many of our programs for international students to ensure that you're getting the most out of your time here at Lakehead. So let's talk a little bit about where we're located. So the Thunder Bay campus, ISS, is located on the ground floor of the Chancellor Patterson Library. Also in our space, you will find our English Language Center and our Global Me office. So they handle all of the outgoing and incoming study abroad students. And something to note, depending on your program, this is also open to international students, so something that you might want to check out at some point. So also in our space, you are going to find your very own student lounge. So Hartika, thank you. You can start the video here to show them our beautiful space. You can see we have a lovely lobby space where you can chat with our friendly reception folks. And there's also lots of places to hang out and study. As you make your way through, you can see we're highlighting all the different lounge spaces. We have large screen TVs. You can stream shows or watch movies. We have 2 Xboxes for gaming. We have a pinball machine, a hockey machine. So much to do in between your classes. We also host numerous events in our space. So as you can see, we're highlighting a lot of those in this video. But it really is a hub of activity, of diversity. It's a safe space for you to enjoy. And so I hope this gets you excited about all the great spots to explore on campus. So now if we shift to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the Aurelia campus space, which is called the Orsi Learning Commons. So this beautiful space is on the main floor of the Simcoe Hall. It's a multi-purpose space where you'll find students studying, relaxing, having group meetings, but you'll also quickly learn that we use it for fairs, information tables, activities, and events hosted by International and also all the other departments on campus. One thing to note is that the Simcoe Hall is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the Orsi Learning Commons is accessible to you all at all hours of the night with security in the building at all times. So this is great for all of you nighthawks that maybe like to study late at night. So I think that's it for me, and I will pass it off to Danielle next.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here this morning to share a little bit more about the Barrie STEM Hub. So my name is Danielle. I am the Student Services Generalist Lead at the Barrie STEM Hub, which means I will be based in Barrie if you're going to be joining me in the fall to support you at the Barrie STEM Hub. So the STEM Hub we're really excited about. It's located in a great location in Barrie, right by the waterfront. So you'll have wonderful access to to trails right by Simcoe Lake, as well as great restaurants and places to study within the community. Our space at the STEM Hub also has a lot of wonderful space to study, connect with friends. We'll have programs and events that are happening on site as well. So I think if you're joining us in Barrie at the STEM Hub, you're really going to enjoy your experience being the first class at the Barrie STEM Hub. So it's very exciting. If we go on to our next slide, I'll tell you a little bit more about what we offer at the STEM Hub when it comes to student support. And what that is really everything that a Lakehead student has access to at our other two campuses. What's really convenient about the STEM Hub is you don't have to run around and try to find information and find where different offices are based. We have a service desk at our 5 Ross location. The two buildings for the STEM Hub are very close to each other, but at the service desk, it's really your one-stop shop for any question or need for support that you might have. So we'll support everything from orientation, academic advising, if you need help with registration, or if you need help with looking at your resume for applying to a co-op, really anything that you need support with, we're going to be there to help you. If there's something, so for example, if you need support with your immigration or study permit, we also have private pods available at the STEM Hub so that you can connect with one of the great international advisors. A couple of them are on this call, so that you can connect with them privately as well. So we're very much looking forward to meeting you in the fall term. And if you have any questions about the STEM Hub in the meantime, I'm also more than happy to connect with you as well. All right, and I'm going to pass the microphone over.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. Hi, everybody. My name is Katie Stevenson. I'm the International Engagement Specialist, and I'm at the Aurelia campus. So I support Aurelia and Barrie students in various ways, working alongside my colleagues in Thunder Bay and Barrie. I'm also a Resia, like Sarah and some of our others on the call today. I'm also an Aurelia campus alum, and Aurelia is where my family calls home. So one of my favorite parts about my role here is getting to help all of you learn about and explore this great community that I'm very familiar with. So we'll move to the next slide, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the International Welcome Experience. Thank you. Okay, so as Joe mentioned earlier, we've got a really comprehensive international welcome experience planned for you that serves the purpose of helping you get acquainted with our staff, getting to know more about our services, starting to plan your arrival here on campus, and all of this starts now. So over the next few months, we'll be supporting you through various webinars like this one that'll feature different topics each week that are related to your needs as a newly arriving international student in Canada. We'll be sending weekly new international student guides. These are emails that complement the content that we cover in our webinars. We also have various orientation modules that you can complete at your own pace online. As we get closer to your arrival date and we start to get more excited for that, we'll ensure that you're aware of how to leverage services like our airport arrival service. And last but not least, make sure you flag your calendars now because we'll have our International Student Welcome Day happening on September 2nd, which will then lead into campus-wide orientation, which happens September 3rd till 8th. And then there's also additional programming throughout your first 6 weeks. So, like Joe said, a very comprehensive, thorough program that we've intentionally put together to really help support you and help you feel confident about arriving at Lakehead University, wherever that might be in Ontario. So if we can move to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that new student guide. Thank you. Okay, so to provide you with a little bit more insight on this, we'll be sending these emails to both your LU and your personal email accounts. So catch them one way or another. They will be coming every week from our international office. So stay up to date with them, make sure you're not missing them, give them a read. So through these emails, we're going to be sharing important guidance, resources, and what to expect. The info is written specifically with international students in mind. So we strongly advise that you do read through them thoroughly and even do that a couple of times. Wouldn't be a bad idea. But you'll also notice that you're going to be seeing registration links to the upcoming webinars. So that's a good spot to kind of keep up to date with the content that we're covering. Make sure you're staying registered. Make sure you know what's coming up next. So make sure you're checking your email consistently. An important note, you will also start to receive emails about your anticipated start of studies from our main campus communication channels. So these are relevant to all incoming students, domestic and international. So we just want to flag this for you so you don't get them confused. These are also important emails. They're going to be talking about campus-wide orientation, things happening over the first 6 weeks. So yes, lots to read. All of it is important. All of it is sent to you with the intention of helping you get acquainted with our campus and community, helping you feel prepared as you make your way coming to Lakehead. Last thing I'm going to mention in our last bullet point there, please make sure you follow us on social media. It's another helpful tool to help you stay informed with everything that's going on. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ananya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie, and good morning, everyone. A little bit about myself. I am Ananya, and I am the International Student Services Coordinator with the team. And I'm so excited to meet all of you. To share a little bit about myself, I am originally from New Delhi, India, and came to Canada in December of 2022. And I came to Lakehead as an international student, much like you, for my master's. And I fell in love with the campus and the community so much that I decided to stick around after graduation. Now, to continue with making you familiar with ISS and what we do, if we could go to the next slide, please, Harthika. Perfect. Thank you so much. So let's take a look at the airport transportations that are available for your arrival. Now, this is a service that provides you with a voucher and is very similar across all our campuses. We understand that coming to a new place after long hours of travel can be quite a lot. I'm sure you'd probably be exhausted and jet lagged. I know I was. So to make your arrival, a little more smooth, we have transportation available for you at the airport. If you simply fill the airport arrival accommodation form, that can be found on our website and will also be shared with you in our upcoming new student guides. We can provide you with a taxi voucher or a shuttle service, depending on which campus you're coming to ensure that you can safely arrive at your place of accommodation from the airport, be it on campus or off campus. And I will also add the link to the form here shortly if you want to take a look at it. Now, if you have your flights booked, please feel free to fill the form right after this webinar or in the following few weeks. You do not need to wait, but we do ask that you fill the form a minimum of 3 to 5 business days prior to your day of arrival, just so we ensure that you have enough time to receive the necessary details, the voucher, ask any questions, and then you'd also need to print it in advance to avoid any confusion once you're here. And if we can go to the next slide. Thank you so much, Harthika. So now we have the new International Student Welcome Day. This is the most exciting day for all our new students. Definitely the day I am personally always stoked about. Happening this year, as Katie has already mentioned, on the 2nd of September across all our campuses. This day is really an excellent opportunity for all our new students to meet and interact with their fellow peers from around the world, as well as the new international services team in person, and as well as our recruiters. It is considered to be a mandatory event, so we do hope that all our new students attend, and we hope to see you all there. And we encourage you to plan your travel dates in a way that ensures you're here again before the 2nd of September, because you really don't want to skip out on this. It is really a packed day that is filled with games, cultural programming, as well as important Lakehead information that would come in super handy to, make your student journey a success. And registration for the welcome day will open shortly. And again, we will share the link with all of you in the upcoming transition webinars as well as the new student guides. And I think that is all from me. I will pass it on to Jennifer.
Thanks, Ananya, and hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Hay. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and one of your 4 international student advisors. I am born and raised here in Thunder Bay, so spent many, many years here and also many years working with international students, welcoming them to our beautiful city. I do look forward to welcoming you all. And of course, myself, I love the outdoors, all 4 seasons that we get here in Thunder Bay. So if you have any questions about hiking, biking, skiing, kayaking, or any of those things once you get here, please feel free to connect with me. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the international student advising. So what do we do specifically to assist you? I know Sarah has touched a little bit about this already, but as you have learned, our dedicated team of advisors are here to support you throughout your time at Lakehead University. We do help you navigate your academics. We can help you review the course registration, confirm that you're a full-time student, understanding your timetable and navigating what does a year-long course look like or a half-credit course look like, and of course, helping you connect with your faculty and program staff. Our advising does go beyond your life as a student. We will provide workshops and sessions and events to help you support your life here in Canada. This can be everything, including working in Canada, fraud and scam protection for you, talking about health insurance, housing, and of course, integration to our community. All 4 of your advisors are also licensed immigration professionals, as Sarah has already mentioned. We will help you understand your regulations as an international student, help with any study permit extensions, talk about the postgraduate work permit when that time comes, and of course, any visa renewals. The world of immigration is ever changing, and although your friends and classmates may be good supports for you, when it comes to immigration, because things can change depending on the intake and when you arrived, and if you're undergraduate or graduate student, please always connect with one of your 4 advisors, or of course, Katie, if you're in Orillia or Barrie, to talk about your immigration questions. It is important to make sure that you adhere to all the conditions while you're here as a student. We want to make sure you have a smooth transition from studying into your postgraduate work permit and possibly further opportunities in Canada. On the next slide, we'll show you a copy of what a study permit looks like. After you apply for your study permit online, once you get the approval, your passport will be sent for stamping or you will be issued an ETA. Along with that passport or the stamping, we call this a TRV or entry visa. You will get a letter of introduction in the portal. When you enter Canada, you'll be required to show that passport with your entry visa and that letter of introduction. And this is the permit that they will print you. The officers are called CBSA, so Canadian Border Security Officers or agents that will help you with this. So please, when you come into Canada, I know we'll talk about this in the weeks to come and we'll get more into the immigration, but please just remember that this is an important step when you arrive into the country and also to check that permit over to make sure it looks correct. I also will just remind you to make sure you register for your classes before you come, and that working as a student, you will be able to start working once classes start. So of course, we recommend you come as early as possible. It's good to get settled and arrive. July and August are beautiful months here in Thunder Bay and across Canada. But of course, just remember you cannot start working until you actually start your classes. Thank you. Now I think I'll pass it over to Krista to finish us off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Krista McAllister, and I am the Student Engagement and Cultural Coordinator in Thunder Bay. So that means that I work the front desk here at the Thunder Bay campus, helping triage your questions, your needs. I'm also the person behind the international at lakeheadu.ca email. So if you're sending email inquiries there, that's usually myself that's responding to them. But a little bit about me is I'm originally from Guelph, Ontario, which is about 45 minutes southwest of Toronto. But I also spent a good chunk of my life in the Berea and Orillia area. So I have family in that area. So I'm quite knowledgeable about the area as well. So I can tell you that it is absolutely gorgeous there if you're joining the campus. But I have lived in Thunder Bay for the last 22 years, and I now call that home. I am passionate about the student experience and all that that entails. And my goal for you is to have the most stress-free time here. So whatever I can do and whatever our team can do to help facilitate that is what our goal is. So if we can move on to the next slide. So, with that in mind, I'm going to briefly chat about some of the activities, events, and workshops that we do across all of our campuses and the STEM Hub. So, we try to make the most out of your experience here in Canada. That's why you're coming here. You're coming here for the Canadian experience. So, we try our best in creating our programming to help facilitate that. But not only that, we also want to celebrate you and who you are and where you're coming from. So you'll notice that we have programming for everyone. There is always something going on in our spaces. We're always connecting you with other events that are happening on our campuses that are hosted by our student union, our student affairs areas. So there really is something for everyone. But for example, this summer in Thunder Bay, we're doing a program called the ISS Summer Adventure Club. So we take you out to beautiful spaces that aren't necessarily the easiest to get to, like Kekabeka Falls, which is the Niagara Falls of the North, the Sleeping Giant, which is a beautiful spot that's very unique to Thunder Bay, and so on and so forth. But there's social events, there is workshops that help with immigration and integration into the community, and to help you learn and love the communities that you're in. The next slide, please. One of the ones that I'd like to highlight specifically for the Thunder Bay campus is Sarah. She runs the Northern Nature Connect program. So, as she mentioned, there is, because we are surrounded by the boreal forest, it's one of the unique things about our university is that we are surrounded by forest and nature. And for those that might not know that or get to experience that regularly, nature is very healing, and it can help you really focus, and it really affects all of like holistically. So Sarah guides you through many different types of programming events to help connect you with the nature that surrounds our campus, and also find ways to to connect with yourself as well. Now we don't have Northern Nature Connect within the Orillia and Barrie STEM Hub, but there will be some programming that does get you out into the communities there. So going to Mariposa Market, going down to Lake Couchiching, and so there'll always be something that connects you that way within the spot. Sorry, Hardika, thank you very much. Yeah, one thing that currently is at both the Thunder Bay and the Orillia campus, and once the Barrie STEM Hub has probably a year under their belt, is the Global Ambassador Program. So I myself run the Global Ambassador Level 1 along with Joe. And what it is, it's a way for you to get involved, get connected with peers, help and develop skills that can go towards building your portfolio and have fun at the same time. So it is just a really wonderful way. A lot of our students that go through the program say it's a welcoming experience. They had a lot of fun, and they've learned a lot of things that'll help them grow as people, but also professionally. So we run that every year. And then the rest of the team takes care of the level 2, which then you get to specialize. Now, Katie at the Orillia campus does all of the things. So she's will be your point person if you're heading to the Orillia campus, and it's open to people straight as soon as you start. So you can keep an eye on for emails from our newsletters for that. Next slide, please. And now I hand it over to Sukhjeet. Thanks, Sukhjeet.
Thank you so much, Krista. Last but not the least, so hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sukhjeet Singh. I'm an RCIC and one of the international student advisors at Lakehead University's Thunder Bay campus. Along with Jen, Sarah, and Katie, I'm licensed to provide you with advice on various immigration topics. Like Ananya, I was born and raised in India. I moved to Canada back in 2021 as an international student. Since then, I have gone through the process of applying for a postgraduate work permit and eventually obtaining my PR. So I know firsthand what it is like. We are all here to welcome you and support you throughout your journey as a student at Lakehead University, ensuring you are all set to obtain your long-term goals in Canada. Next slide, please. So building on all the great events and programming Krista just shared, we also have a peer mentor program specifically for our international student. This program is not currently available at our Barry STEM Hub, but you can sign up for it at our Lakehead, at our Thunder Bay and Aurelia campus. So please keep an eye on your inbox because we will be sending out more details and sign up information very soon. This program is designed to help you transition smoothly from your home country to university life in Canada. If you sign up, we will match you with a mentor, an experienced student who knows the ins and outs of university life and living in Thunder Bay and Aurelia. So this is a great opportunity to connect with someone, get your questions answered, and start building your network even before you get here. I think that is it from me, and I believe that is the end of the presentation as well. So I will pass it back to Hardika. You know what, you don't have to wait to be assigned with the mentor to ask your questions. You can ask your questions right now. So the session is open for Q&As now. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and post your questions in the Q&A feature of this webinar. And thanks to all who have been answering the questions behind the scenes.
Thank you so much,
I
everyone.
see that,
Thank you.
Jen, you are first. I think you.
Yeah, happy to take this on so from Hayford, I just wanted to bring this up live because I know some other people may have the same situation. So I just want to share with you. So first, Aquaba Hayford, nice to connect with you and thank you for being on the webinar today. I'm sorry to hear about the visa refusal that you've had. So just so you know, we are seeing a high number of visa refusals in the last year from IRCC. A lot of the refusals don't always make sense to us. So a good example is I, Jennifer, have just received a visa refusal saying I do not have enough proof of funds. In my application, I paid Lakehead my first semester tuition in advance. I also showed my parents' bank statement showing they have $50,000 Canadian plus, and they have written a letter explaining they're my parents and they're going to pay for my fees. So their funds available plus my tuition payment to Lakehead should have been sufficient for the proof of funds. In this scenario, I would recommend you do submit a WIB form and ask reconsideration of your application. Asking for reconsideration to IRCC is saying that you think they made a mistake. They're saying something was missing or that you did not demonstrate something in your application, and you feel in the application that the documents you submitted, you did satisfy that. In a reconsideration request, you cannot submit new documents. So you can't say, oh, here, please see updated bank statements. They're only going to consider what you have submitted within that original file. So if you feel there's merit for that, you can send IRCC a web form and ask them for reconsideration, and they will start that process for you. There's no timeline for that reconsideration, and there's definitely no guarantee that they will consider it. It is subject to the visa officer who took your file on originally. There also is a situation where you can appeal that refusal. So this is called judicial review. You must request the JR, the judicial review, within 15 days of getting your refusal. This is something you can do yourself, or you could hire and obtain a lawyer to do so. We do not help with the judicial review requests, and RCICs are actually not licensed able to be able to do that. So you would actually need a lawyer for that. Please know the appeal process for immigration is a very long process. So up to 2 years, you could be waiting for a decision and for that to be back opened up. But again, if you feel there's merit, there's definitely an opportunity to do so. The third option would be to resubmit your application for a new study permit. So if they said, Jennifer, you don't have enough finances and I only showed $20,000 in my application, I agree with them. I did not have enough. By IRCC standards, we need at least $50,000 for our first year and a single applicant. Please remember, if you have family members, you need to have more funds than that. So if I feel like I didn't give a good job, then I would resubmit my application. And when you reapply in your letter of explanation or your statement of purpose, on the first page, you can say, my name is Jennifer. I'm resubmitting my application. I was just refused for A, B, C reasons. And this is all the new evidence and new supporting documents I'm giving you to address your concerns, to overcome that issue. So those would be your three scenarios, what you can do, Hayford. So hopefully that gives you some background and information to go forward. So next, I'm just going to continue on here, Leba. I know you asked, can you register for classes and housing after you get your visa approval? Yes, you possibly could do this, but it's definitely highly not recommended to do so. Course registration will open up in June, so you will get a notification from Lakehead saying you can now register for your classes, and this will happen in the My Info portal. We recommend, please register for your fall and winter semester. Classes will fill up. It is first come, first serve. So if you wait till the end of end of August to actually pick your classes, you're going to have a very low amount of classes to pick from, may not even be able to get into your mandatory classes. So we recommend the opposite. You should book your housing and you should book your residence, all in the hopes to get here for September. If it's mid-August and you're seeing nothing, the visa approval is not approved and you can't travel, then you can always drop those classes. If you drop your classes within the first 10 days of class, then there is no penalty for you. You're not being charged those tuition fees. It's easier to drop those classes than to add them at the last minute. So I definitely would recommend that. I believe our student housing, the apartments are all full. There is just the dorms that are available now, Leba. So the housing is very, very tight here in Thunder Bay. So I definitely also wouldn't recommend waiting last minute to book your housing. There could be a very good chance you would have no housing and be stuck in a hotel or something when you arrive, which can be very expensive for you. So those would be my two cautions on the subject there.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I believe, Sarah, you're going to answer some of the questions.
Yeah, thanks, Hartika. So Miracle, you're asking, you haven't received your admission notification yet, and so you're concerned about the timeline and the chances of making it for the September intake. And so it's really important to check the processing times for your study visa in your country or region. And I will put the link in the chat for checking the processing times in a moment. And so that will sort of give you a timeline of when you can wait to the point where it's too late. And so at this point, I would say you still have a little bit of time to wait, likely. In the instance that you get an offer later and you don't feel like you can come for the September intake, there may be an option to defer to the winter intake. Not ideal, I know. But just keep an eye on those processing times and still submit your application as soon as you receive your September intake or your offer. I mean, just depends on when you applied. The admission processing times, as Hardik indicated, are usually around 4 to 6 weeks, but it depends on your program and the faculty. And then the next question, I'll keep going here as well. From Prem, so you received a conditional offer for your master's program, and you want to know if you can use that for applying for your student visa. We strongly recommend that you do get an unconditional offer when applying for your visa. If you think you're going to meet those conditions very soon, you could wait for that unconditional offer. It will be issued to you once you meet those conditions. However, time is, of course, of the essence for many of you when applying for the study visa. So you can use your conditional offer to apply for your study visa. You just have to make sure in your statement of purpose or your letter of explanation that you clearly outline how you will be meeting those conditions prior to your studies starting. Okay, so very important to explain that. If you submit your visa application and it's still pending and you end up receiving your unconditional offer, you can add this document to your pending application. So you'll do this through an IRCC web form. You will add the document and then they will attach your unconditional offer to your pending application. So that's another option for you.
Thanks, Sarah. I think I'll jump in with a couple here. So a few questions, and just a reminder, if you can put your questions in the Q&A, some of them are coming in through the chat, and it can be a little bit difficult to see them. We don't want to miss any questions, so please make sure you get them in the Q&A if possible. Okay, please, when is the earliest date that you can arrive in Canada? So great news, there is no deadline or earliest date that you can arrive. You can come as early as you want. So if you get that visa approval early, we recommend come early. Come spend some time, get settled, get adjusted well before your classes and welcome day start. That's always the best experience that we've seen with students. So just remember that if you decide to come in July or August, if your classes are starting in September, when you enter at the port of entry, IRCC will just want to ensure you can support yourself. So they'll say, do you have somewhere to stay? How are you supporting yourself for the next few months before your classes start? Again, I will highlight that you cannot work in Canada at all until your classes start in September. You don't have work authorization until classes have commenced. So sometimes you have family in Canada, you want to come spend a couple of weeks with them and then make your way over to the campus. That's completely fine. If you do decide to do that, so for example, I have family in Toronto, I'm going to fly into Toronto and then go to Thunder Bay a week later. Please book that flight from Toronto to Thunder Bay in advance. So when you arrive, you do show that you will eventually get to campus, because that could be questioning to IRCC if you or CBSA, I should say, when you enter. If you only have a flight halfway to your campus, they'll ask you what's going on and maybe think that you don't have genuine thoughts of studying with us. So please just make sure you do make that transition or second flight booking in advance. And yeah, same with housing. I see, Krista, thank you. You already kind of answered that one in there for that. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm done.
I can talk a little bit about housing, just because I know that's a hot topic for everyone. So housing, the thing to keep in mind with off-campus housing is that there's a housing shortage across Canada. So can take time to find housing. So the sooner you start looking, the better. What I've added in the chat is the off-campus housing link. So there is a very helpful web page that has been put together that gives tips and tricks for finding housing. It has listings that you can look at. It has ways to avoid housing scams, because unfortunately those do happen. So if you have not looked at that off-campus housing page yet, I highly recommend it. Because if you are arriving in August, you really should be starting now if you haven't already started looking for housing in our respective cities. So there are options, but if you haven't started looking, please start now.
Also, I
And then
believe we have a housing webinar coming up. Ananya, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's June 23rd, maybe. You'll be receiving an email communication all about housing. And then you can join another live webinar just like this one. And we're going to talk about all things housing on campus, off campus, and all things to consider.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Just to kind of echo what Sarah just mentioned, the transition webinars as well as the upcoming international student guides, they would include all these links that will then take you to our website, and then of course the webinars, which you'll be getting the information about them soon after this webinar actually. You can register for them, and each respective webinar focuses on a lot of these things that you're asking actually. So housing, yes, it is on June 23rd, wherein we'll be going in depth with your housing options both on campus and off campus. And we will actually have someone from our on-campus residence team joining us as well. So if you have any more specific questions regarding on-campus housing, they can support you as well. Same with immigration and other roles and other things that you're looking forward to.
So we have a question from Luann Monroe here. So please send us an email to immigration.intl@lakeheadu.ca. I will also put our email in the chat, but we do not directly assist with outside of country study permit applications, but we can provide you a general guidance if you are facing any specific issues. So please make sure you send us an email. I will just put our email in the chat.
Thanks, Sukhjit. And Yushipa, I just wanted to say, yes, there is a refund policy. So if your visa is refused, you can request a refund from Lakehead. So please, I've shared in the chat, I can put it again in there if you need it, but it is on our website, refund policy, Lakehead University. There are specific dates that you should be aware of. Like I said, those first 10 days of classes. And then as we get further into the semester, there's a percentage of refund that is returned to you. So please be familiar with those dates in advance, and know, the policy and so forth. I think Hartika has also mentioned in the chat that if you do have a visa refusal, we require that letter. So to start that refund request.
Thank you. And quickly kind of jumping in, I see a question from an anonymous attendee. Will there be international students sharing their experiences looking for off-campus housing? So we won't have, specific like international students joining in that webinar to share their experiences, but that could be a great question to ask your peer mentor, for instance. So you can sign up for our program there, and of course you can email us as well, as we can go over those details with you in the webinar, and try our best to be as transparent as possible. As Krista has already mentioned, there is well, not lack, but limited number of housing options across Canada, but we'll do our best to kind of go over what some of your best options are on campus as well as off campus.
I'll jump in here. A student is asking if they are exempt from requiring the PAL, so that's your provincial attestation letter, if you're in a master's program. So yes, if you are in a master's program or PhD, you are exempt from requiring a PAL. There will be a question in your study visa application that asks you this. So when you say you are exempt from requiring a PAL, of course, they will require a supporting document asking why you were exempt. You can simply screenshot the IRCC policy and just let them just as a Word document. You can screenshot it and just say, I'm in a master's program, therefore I am exempt. You can email us at immigration.intl. We have a template you can use if you don't feel comfortable making your own. But yes, you are exempt from requiring a PAL if you're in master's.
Just want to jump in about, there's a question about course registration and who to reach out for that. In the upcoming months, in mid-June and in July, there will be a number of opportunities for students to connect with us live and register. We'll help you register. So that's through the Student Central Office, along with our International Student Services team. So if you have questions about that, you want to know a little bit more about course registration, stay tuned for all that information that will come in your inbox. Join us for a webinar or join us live for registration. It's called Registration 101, and we'll walk you through the registration process, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll be registered for all of your courses. And I just want to remind everybody that as soon as you register for your classes, you will get billed for your tuition in your student account. So you just want to pay attention to that and when student fees are due. The first round is August 15th, but hey, if you have your tuition paid off before then, that's probably even better. So lots of help for course registration, lots of information coming, and lots of webinars and workshops available for you to help with that registration.
Thanks. And if your visa is delayed, so we're coming close to September, you don't have a decision, you need to reach out to admissions, so undergraduate admissions or graduate studies, to ask them about deferring your admission. Some of our programs do have a September and a January intake, so you can defer to the January intake. Some of you have noted already that our programs only have once a year intake, so that means you would have to reapply or speak to admissions about deferring a full year to the next September. If you're coming for January, don't worry, we're going to do this all again throughout the fall semester, and you'll get all the information specific for your arrival.
Thanks, Jen. So there is a question, is there any problem of getting a visa if someone is refused from US? So just make sure you disclose all your previous refusals in your study permit application. Just make sure the reason of the refusal as well. I'm not sure what was the reason of your refusal for the US visa, but if you have previously refused any Canadian visa refusal as well, just make sure you address the refusal points. You will get a letter from IRCC. If in case you get Canadian visa refusal, you will get a letter from IRCC in which they will let you know the reason they are refusing your visa for. Just make sure you address all those points. The most common reasons are the financial concerns and home ties to your and ties to your home country. So just make sure you submit a strong SOP if it is a requirement of your study permit based on your country of residence. Just make sure you have all the right documents with your application. The common two reasons, as I mentioned, are the financial concerns and ties to your home country. So ties could be your family back home if you have any regular employment or property or assets. Just make sure to include all this information in with your application. And never say no to that question that have you previously refused a visa refusal. If you have, you need to disclose this information.
I will answer the question about the Global Ambassador Program. Thank you, anonymous attendee, for asking a question about the Global Ambassador Program. So the Global Ambassador Program is meant to be as flexible as it possibly can be so that our students can complete it well doing their studies. So you'll notice that once you're there, you'll have an interview with myself. We'll go into it, and then we lay out how the program is. So the level one is spread out over the from October to the end of March, and it's about 6 to 8 events, depending on your interests, where your interests lie, that you need to complete. And it's meant to be what we call a la carte. So you can choose which ones work best with your schedule. If for some reason there is some issues and you can't complete it, just come and talk to me as soon as possible. And we try to work it out as best as we can so it meets the learning criteria and outcomes of why we run the program. So hopefully that helps. But if you have any other questions, you can email global.ambassador@lakeheadu.ca.
All right, so thank you so much to every single member of our team for those wonderful introductions as well as the overview and information. What an incredible group of people you have supporting you. So we have had some really wonderful questions today, and thank you so much for engaging with us. So we are going to close out the Q&A now and wrap up today's session. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to email us at welcome@lakeheadu.ca. I will put that in the chat in a while. So with that, let's just wrap up today's session. So first and foremost, follow us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International Live. We have put the username on the slide itself. We share updates about events, webinars, student life, and all things Lakehead International. It's a great way to feel connected as well as feel a part of the community. Second, check your Lakehead email inbox today because your very first new student guide communication is headed your way right now. And this is your starting point for everything. So you need to know that's something that you need to know about arriving and also settling in. And also mark your calendars because our next transition webinar is on June 2nd, I believe. So you can just scan the QR code and just register for our transition webinars to get all that good information. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us today. From every single one of us on the International Student Services team, we are so honored to welcome you to Lakehead University. Thank you, everyone. Do you have any final words before we wrap up our today's session?
Looking forward to seeing everyone soon, hopefully.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for the engagement. Thanks for the great questions, and look forward to seeing you at the next webinar.
We can't wait to have you join us at all of our respective campuses. And if you have any questions, make sure you're sending those emails and attending those webinars. Okay?
Right. So thank you so much. Stay in touch and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.